Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to the Fargo Native American Commission. And we will start with welcome and introductions. And thank you for joining us. And I call July 30th, 2021 meeting of the Native American Commission to order. And let's begin with introduction of commission members. John, you can start.
Thank you, Madam Chair. John Strand, Fargo City Commission.
Whitney Fear, Ogallala Sioux Tribe.
Lenore King, Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate.
Emily Sargent, White Earth Nation.
And we have Chelsea on the phone.
Chelsea Snyder, Three Affiliated Tribes.
And Sharon.
This is Sharon Whitebear from the MHA Nation.
Thank you. And we're going to go ahead and approve minutes and agenda, but we do have an addition on our agenda, Heart Springs, to do a presentation after public comment. And can I get a motion to approve the agenda with the Heart Springs added after the public comment?
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda as modified with that addition of the Heart Springs presentation. I would include in that motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 3rd.
Can I get a second?
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. The next item is to approve the minutes of the June 3rd, 2021 meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
They were approved with the previous motion.
Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. We'll go ahead to public comment. Citizens to be heard. And the next item in public comment, those who wish to address the commission must use a sign-in sheet. Speakers must state their name and will be limited to 2 minutes. Comments should not contain profanity or personal attacks. And staff, do we have anyone for personal comment?
Yep, Tracy is signed up.
Okay, Tracy Wilkie.
Bonjour, everyone. I am Tracy L. Wilkie, Wabishki, Giweden, Ikwe, White Northwind woman. I'm a citizen of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa and a resident of Fargo. I recently started a new position with the North Dakota Federation of Families for Children's Mental Health, formerly Tanya Redroad's position. And like I said, I'm new, but we are looking for families to work with to support the individual educational plans in the school system and to ensure the children's and families' voices are being heard in the process. We work with families with behavioral, emotional, and mental health needs. We are a nonprofit, and we serve anybody of any income level, any nationality. And I represent the eastern part of the state, so not just Fargo. So I guess in closing, I would like to ask if you all know of families who can use some help with navigating through the educational system with the IEPs or social services or the criminal justice system, to please reach out to me, and I'll leave some of my brochures with you all. And thank you for your time. I'm also on the board of Heart Springs Healing Center. So thank you very much, Miigwech, and have a good day.
Thank you, Tracy. Does anybody have any questions for Tracy?
Lenore, this
Yes.
is Sharon. I just am curious about the eastern, you said the eastern part of the state. So what does your whole area cover?
It goes from, I covered from the northern part, the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Reservation through Bismarck, and I'm not exactly sure like how it cuts down through Bismarck to Standing Rock, but it's only in North Dakota, so it wouldn't include the whole Standing Rock Reservation, if any. But I could find out more information.
Sure. does a person that helps with some of that, do they have to have a child in the Fargo school system?
It's in the school system on the eastern part of the state.
But a person that would want to help, do they need to have a child in that system at this time?
Yes,
Okay.
to help, to assist the families in advocating for their children's needs.
Right, but I'm saying if someone wanted to help, say I wanted to help, my son went through the Fargo system. I know some of the things that have gone, what I've seen there, and if I wanted to help, but I no longer have a child in that system, I cannot help then, is that correct?
Oh, you could reach out to me and we could talk about that, because there are
Okay.
like people, I guess, adult age that will stop by my office for resources, and I get them in touch with who could possibly be helpful to them. So I am available to talk to you, Sharon, at any time.
Okay. All right, thank you, Tracy.
Yes, thank you, Sharon.
Any more
Anything else?
questions? If not, we can go ahead and move forward with Jan from Heart Springs.
Hi, Jan Nelson from Heart Springs. I'm so happy to be with you again. I'll start that there. I've cut my presentation down a little bit, so hopefully we'll go through it a little bit faster. So my background and training, so I was able to meet with you before 3 years ago, and I'm so privileged to come back and see you again. So nice to see Lenore and John Strand and Sharon. I remember you from last time. And Whitney, I believe, was just coming on board at the time, I think. So just, yes, nice to hear your voice. So I'm coming to, I had talked with Lenore last week, and she invited me today just to speak about Heart Springs, and that's why I'm here. So my background and training is as an integrated occupational therapist. There's a reason I say integrative, because we use many, many different forms of treatments. And I'm a brain injury specialist, and I think that's important for you to know, because with a lot of Native American, with the trauma, not only head injuries, but also with toxic chemical injuries. So I also have advanced training in mind-body medicine, which we talked about 3 years ago. And also something new that I've been offering now for clients is something called the IPT, which perhaps Tracy will talk a little bit about, and the SSP, which is great for helping people feel safe. And I see there's some police officers here today, and I also welcome training with your department, actually, in something called Heart Math and the Safe and Sound Protocol. The stress that you're under as police officers as well can benefit from some of these techniques. So I want to offer that to you. So we're a local organization. We were created in 2008. We are housed right across from the VA hospital, and we currently have 7 an occupational therapist, physical therapist, nurse, yoga practitioners, and a vocal coach. And our mission is to provide health, hope, and healing and vibrancy to those living with chronic and life-altering conditions. And so we serve the human being, just in general. Anybody can come and work with us. But we also serve chronic illnesses. So we've been working with people living with Parkinson's for going on 16 years now. So when you talk about chronic disease and you start overlapping chronic disease with diabetes, and then you talk about working with trauma, all of these go hand in hand with chronic diseases. So the difference, I think, at Heart Springs is that we see you as a person, not as a diagnosis or a label. So when you come in the door, we look at you holistically. So you don't just come in with Parkinson's, but you're coming in as a human being. And I think that's really important. So our job is to empower everybody who comes through our door. And I think that's really important, again, with working with the Native American community, that is what I see our job is to empower you in living well and healthy. And we customize plans, and our plans look at not only your physical body, but your soul, which includes your mind and your emotions and your spirit. And all of it plays into the vibrancy of how we live well. The most important part, there's many different kinds of medicine that are out there, as you can see, but what I've highlighted in red is what I believe to be most important. And what I find is that when I'm working with people of every color, faith, religion, is self-love. It really comes down to that. Because if people don't feel like they love themselves, then they're not going to want to heal. And so I really put a high priority upon self-care and self-love. Let me just take that off quicker. Oops, can I go back? So in a medicine wheel, we look at, from the east, the beliefs, attitudes, self-esteem, purpose, life, and work. Then we look to the south to movement, food, and sleep, or what we call now lifestyle medicine. To the west, we look through thoughts, emotions, and relationships, and to the north, nature, meditation, and creativity. There's a particular mind-body program that we talked about a few years ago, and that is mind-body medicine that was developed by Dr. James Gordon, who is a trauma holistic psychiatrist out on the East Coast. And these are the things that we teach. We teach biofeedback, relaxation, guided imagery, meditation, drawing, breathing techniques, movement, dialoguing with the problem, genograms, which I think is important when we look at historical and cultural trauma, and mind-body eating and spirituality. The other technique that I wanted to highlight is the Safe and Sound Protocol. And this one is when somebody has gone through trauma, their middle ear muscle goes slack so that they only pick up low tones in the environment. Low tones indicate danger. And so what the SSP does is it exercises the middle ear muscle so that it can hear higher tones, which indicate laughter, joy, and freedom. And so that's how the SSP works. It's when I first started, it was a 5-day protocol. It's now a month protocol because we find that people need more time to adjust. It works on the polyvagal theory. IPT is something that I've really found important for generational healing, and it stands for Integrative Processing Technique, and it's a 4-step technique that uses the intelligence of the body, uses a blend of different techniques, guided imagery, behavioral kinesiology, visualization, and psychoneuroimmunology. And it assists the client in releasing old patterns and replacing it with new patterns. And that's what I love about the technique. It's very different than counseling or psychotherapy, and it's a great adjunct to those therapies already. So what we're working on, what we've worked on in the past is we worked with women ex-offenders. We had a grant to do that. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we could only get in 6 weeks. But I think it was helpful for us in terms of recognizing brain injury. And a lot of programs do not function or don't focus on this piece. But in terms of police work as well, is that when people have had brain injuries, whether they've hit their head against a wall or been smashed or chemical, is that they're not going to make good choices depending on where the brain injury is in the brain. And so we need to work on a bottom-up approach, working from the cerebellum up to the frontal lobe. So a lot of talk therapy is not beneficial to those with brain injuries because we need to work in a different way with them. Currently, we're working on a grant right now with Soul Solutions to provide recovery work. I'm bringing holistic treatment to them. And I'm working on a grant right now to work with Anna Johnson to bring a 5-evening artistic work together with women with trauma, Native American women with trauma. And then I'm working on a grant right now to work with a 12-week mind-body group for urban Native American women. So, do you have any questions for me?
Lenore,
Yes,
I have some questions. This is Karen.
yes.
I'm glad to hear that we talked about that for young Native women, trying to have a circle for them, when we first talked. So I'm glad to see you trying to go forward with that. But what is the cost to them? I mean, there must be a cost to a person, and then does it include everything, or is it depending on what you're working on?
It depends on what we're working on. So if somebody comes to me individual, that I have a sliding scale that I can work with. The mind-body groups, we're looking to get a grant so that that can be offered for free. And I know, Sharon, we were talking about having a meal prior to people coming and then having the 2-hour group. So I'm hoping that's something that we can carry out again.
Right.
I also I put 3 brochures on there. We're starting a LGBTQ specific exercise classes, a trans class, and a queer specific Tai Chi Cha class. And Tracy was one who got me involved with Two Spirits Allies, and so they're on there as well. A Parkinson's retreat, if you know anybody who's just diagnosed with Parkinson's, and a fundraiser that Heart Springs is doing. Tracy, did you have anything you wish to share?
I could share my experience with the processing technique if you'd like.
Yeah, would you like to hear that? Okay.
Jan talked about the integrative processing technique, and I have worked with Jan with that process for the past few months, and it has helped me, having been exposed to early childhood trauma and having worked in the criminal justice system for 20 years in Portland, Oregon. I had some things to release there. But I can tell you that afterwards, the envisioning different things and talking through different memories, how lighter it feels like inside, and like to make different decisions and self-care and behaviors and different things to do, and finding healthy alternatives to healing trauma. So it's been a wonderful experience for me, and I hope everyone could get involved with that. And also for the police officers, I did drop off some of the different types of alternative care that Jan does. I had talked to Chief Zabolski a couple months ago, and I dropped off the information on the muscle in the ear type thing. And I although I never worked as an officer, I know the stress of having worked in the criminal justice system, and it works. Thank you. And if anybody has any questions, I'll stand for any questions.
I don't have any questions. Thank you for sharing your experience, Tracy. I think that as a mental health professional, I think it's really valuable to hear that feedback from people who have underwent these kind of therapies and what their experience was. And I just want to extend to the facility that kind of like my role outside of the Native Commission is I'm a psych nurse practitioner, and I am, if there's ever people who are seeing you guys over at Heart Springs are interested in medication, or I do, I'm pretty well versed in like naturopathic kind of alternatives to psychoactive meds. I'm accepting new patients, any age, pretty much all insurances or none at all. So at family health care, to be specific.
Thank you very much.
This is a really, really provocatively good presentation. I'm just curious, and maybe this is already happening a lot, but how much do you intersect with our harm reduction unit, our folks that are the mobile outreach unit, the folks that are really battling folks, working with folks battling addiction? Because it looks to me like there's potential intersections here everywhere. Do you already work with them, or do you need introductions, or?
Would you like to answer that, Jan?
Yeah. No, we don't work with anybody, and right now, we're just looking at Soul Solutions as a partner. But yes, introductions would be welcome.
What I do is drop me an email and I'll introduce you to Jan Eliason and some of those folks. I think there'd be really good connections here potentially.
Okay, great, thank you. And thank you, Whitney, for offering your services too. Thank you. It's nice to have different partners in different areas.
Yeah, for sure. We can't do it all,
That's
any of
right.
us, so.
That's right,
We
that's
gotta
right.
be a good team in the community.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Jan, for coming, and this is very, very interesting. I think we all need a piece of healing and learning and healing about ourselves. I'm glad that we're able to connect again with you, and hopefully we can move forward and really get involved with, each other and outreach and start helping people in the Native community. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one more time
Lenore?
on Thursday, the 26th, from 4:30 to 7:30 at Messiah Lutheran Church, we're having Party on the Lawn, where different things will be demonstrated there. And it's a chance to learn about different alternative ways of healing. And there'll also be a food truck that runs with donations and a silent auction, that sort of thing. So if you'd like to know more, Thursday, the 26th at Messiah Lutheran Church.
Sharon, did you have another question?
I just wanted to thank Jan again, and then also to thank you, Tracy, for sharing your personal story with that. I really appreciate both of those things, and I look forward to working with you again. With you for whatever we can do. Like you said, makes a better. Whitney said, we need to work together. So, and put our differences aside and just really come together with some of all the good things that are actually here in the city that we could use and help each other with. So thank you very much, ladies.
You're welcome. And we've left flyers there for whatever you want to take. Thank you.
Thank you again, and we'll move forward here with the Indigenous Association report, and I think Whitney's got that.
I do have that. So for the last couple of months, Holly Mackey, Dr. Holly Mackey, has been serving as our interim executive director, and she's been doing a phenomenal job. And some stuff that we have upcoming on the agenda for IA that we're involved with is there's going to be the Native American Community Picnic at Trollwood Park, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on August 7th. On August 14th, we're going to participate in Pride in the Park. We're going to have a table and then potentially be participating in the parade too. And we are going to we've been partnering, collaborating on some things with West Fargo Public Library and Fargo Public Library for some stuff with Native American Heritage Month. And so Holly's been working on just kind of really trying to get a really regular public calendar going, which is something that used to be in the Four Directions newsletter. Making sure that we have that going in online. I believe that's pretty up to date now on the Indigenous Association website. And she's been working on some grant opportunities as well. And I think that that's kind of it for an update. The Native American Community Picnic thing was quite a bit of planning, so I think that took up quite a bit of her time. Hoping to see lots of people turn out. I think it's going to be a really fun time. Former NAC Commission member Anna Johnson's going to be doing some grilling, and she did a lot of the food preparing and stuff for the powwow, the last powwow that we had before COVID, and she did a great job then. So looking forward to seeing people, and also there will be free opportunity for free COVID-19 vaccines as well for interested parties. And family healthcare nurses will be providing those on site that day. So if people haven't received their vaccine yet, they could plan on maybe doing that day. I had mine several months ago, and I have the same amount of arms and fingers and stuff. Nothing wild's happened yet, so.
Does anybody have any questions on the Indigenous Association? If not, we'll go ahead with subcommittee reports, and we can go ahead and start with the health, and that would be Whitney.
I don't have any updates from this last time.
Okay. Sharon, is there anything on housing or John?
Our meeting canceled today. Sharon, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't. Not right at this time.
The only thing, Madam Chair, I'll throw out there just to remind us all that if anybody knows anybody that would like to get their name into the application process for community land trust, just put the word out. Families that need a home, need affordable access to a home, little assistance with sharing ownership in the property. The community land trust is really getting a good start, and there's going to be folks getting placed. There's one for sale now. More coming, but just keep putting the word out for housing for our community. Ownership.
Thank you.
And I did go there like several times, John, and I can't seem to hit it at the right time when there's not someone. It's been closed each time I've gone there. So I'll have to work on that again and see if I can stop by there when there's someone there.
Sharon, call in
Pick up
advance.
an application.
Call in advance and just make sure Trenton knows you're coming.
Okay,
That'll
I
help.
can do that.
Okay. Good. I'm glad somebody's
Okay.
applying.
Okay, and on the education, is there, I think Rebecca, did she give an update to anybody?
Nope.
All right, if not, does any NAC members have any announcements today? Okay, we're gonna go ahead with the staff updates, and we'll begin with the Deputy Fire Marshal Jamie Garvey. He's not here today,
I'm Dawn Stallenwork. I'm filling in for Jamie Garvey today.
oh, okay,
I'm a deputy fire marshal as well. Thank you for
Okay.
having us today. We are here to make the announcement that the Fargo Fire Department's going to be hiring. We are in the process of putting together some orientation dates, which you see there on the screens. We would appreciate you helping us spread the message. We are looking to get an applicant pool that's more representative of the community that we serve. So if you know of someone who is interested in becoming a firefighter, wants to learn more about the job, the schedule, and what it takes to be a firefighter, we have these 2 dates on the calendar for September 11th and September 16th, where they can come out, see what station life is like, learn about the job, ask some questions, see the gear. We do have a very high rate of job satisfaction, and it is a full-time job. We have no volunteer positions. So we just appreciate you helping us spread that message. Applications are due September 30th, and we'll be testing in October.
thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, if no questions, we'll go ahead with the police updates.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Nothing really new to update on, other than I'll give a brief update on some of our programming that comes out of our community engagement team. Finishing up a lot of our summer youth programming, both our outdoor program and our summer camp. This week into next week, we're prepping for our Fargo United event, which will be at the end of August. And that's a great event that we've had for the last 5 years. Where we really just invite everybody from the community. There's free giveaways, there's concert, great opportunity for us to interact with everyone in the community and everybody to really get together and enjoy the community that we live in. Starting up and prepping for our after-school programming with our youth that will run throughout the school year, and then just finished one of our New American swim classes for New American youth, survival swim classes, and looking at starting one of those in September. So continuing to do a lot of the outreach and engagement that we've been doing over this past year, and looking for new opportunities always. So appreciate the opportunity to speak today, and that's really all I have.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? I'm excited about the Fargo United again. Sharon or Chelsea, did I? No. Okay. Well,
No, I was just going to ask the officer's name. I didn't hear him say that, so
okay.
that was easy.
She wanted to know your name, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Lieutenant Bill Allfeld with the Fargo Police Department.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. All right, and with the planning staff, do you have any updates today?
Yeah, just a couple of things to add in addition to what you see in your packet. I'll call out that the Pride in the Park event is coming up on August 14th, and so NAC members are welcome to volunteer at the booth that the City of Fargo will have in conjunction with other board members and other departments. Police will be there, etc. So if you're interested, please give me an email, or you can just show up. And then lastly, this didn't make it into the packet, but I wanted to make sure everybody knew about the North Dakota Rent Help Program, which kind of relaunched in June. And so they expanded the eligibility, and so you may be eligible for up to 12 months if you fit the bill. And there's lots of people in Fargo who are approved to help people apply with their applications. So make sure to refer people here if you know people struggling. And the good news is, too, that as of right now, the eviction moratorium has been extended for Fargo through tentatively October. But keep in mind this program. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions?
Madam Chair, just to the folks in your department working on these evictions and rent programs, you know, what a difference between us and the rest of the country. We have money actually getting to the people who need the help. And we have people working those programs and delivering those services. And it's because of you, Catlin, and everybody else you work with in your department. That's really, and all the other partners in the community. But it's a different situation here, knock on wood. Thank you. And pass that word to everybody who's doing that good work.
Sure, thank you.
Do you have any of those posters that we could hand out?
I don't have any printed as of
Okay.
yet, but I'll email one out.
Okay, that'd be great. All right. Any of the members have any questions or other items open for discussion?
I just have a question about all the things that that we've talked about. We can post this on the website for IA, or we can get it posted on our own site.
Yeah, that's a great
Yes,
idea, and I think
yeah.
you can maybe expect some more to come out from the City of Fargo too. So spread the word. We'll make sure.
And Sharon, I'll pass on that request because I think that is would be great to put on the IA website. I'll ask Holly if she can get that put up for us on there and on the Facebook page.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, if there's no more questions, we can go ahead and adjourn today. Our next meeting will be September 2nd. And is there any other business? Hearing none, this meeting of the Native American Commission stands adjourned. Our next meeting is scheduled September 2nd at noon. Thank you.